Success is not waiting for you. It is created by you. It begins in the mind before it shows in reality. If you cannot see yourself victorious, you will never touch victory. That is why you must act successful now, long before the world places a crown on your head. When you rise each morning, rise as if you are already living the life you dream of. Walk with the posture of achievement. Speak with the confidence of mastery. Think with the clarity of one who owns his destiny. This is not pretending, it is preparing. Your mind is the furnace of creation. Guard it. Feed it only with thoughts of victory. Kill every doubt. Destroy every excuse. Success is not given. It is seized by those who refuse to think failure. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Act now. Every day you delay is a day lost to mediocrity. Move forward with urgency. Act as if success is already yours and the world will be forced to follow. When obstacles appear, and they will, you must not retreat. You must not fold. Instead, treat every setback as a weapon sharpened for your hand. Learn, adjust, advance. Your persistence is the guarantee of your triumph. Surround yourself only with strength, people who sharpen you, words that empower you, environments that stretch you. Cut off everything that weakens your spirit. If it does not push you upward, it is pulling you downward. Success will not tolerate half-belief. It bows only to those who demand results from themselves. So demand greatness. Refuse average. Walk, talk, and act as though your crown is already on your head. Act successful until you become successful. Think it, speak it, live it. Do this without compromise, without hesitation, and without retreat. The world has no choice. It must deliver what your mind has already claimed. Define success clearly. Until you know exactly what you want, your energy is scattered, your steps are confused, and your results are weak. A man or woman who wakes every day without a precise vision is like a ship without a compass, drifting, circling, waiting for luck that will never come. Success never bows to luck. Success bows only to clarity. You cannot conquer a mountain you have not chosen to climb. You cannot hit a target you have not placed in front of you. Vague desires produce vague results, but a clear, definite aim is a magnet. It pulls your thoughts, your will, your discipline, and even the circumstances of life toward it. When you define success, you command your destiny. Write it down, see it in detail. Do not say, I want to be successful. That is a child's wish. Say instead, I will achieve this goal by this time through these steps. Precision creates power. The moment you make your success specific, your mind begins to reorganize itself, your habits begin to align, and your subconscious begins to drive you toward the very thing you declared. Success does not belong to the uncertain. The uncertain waste years bouncing between half-dreams, never deciding, never committing, never building anything lasting. But the one who decides, the one who chooses, becomes unstoppable. Decide what you want to be. Decide the life you will build. Decide the results you will demand. Decision is the spark that sets your fire ablaze. Act as though you already possess it. Carry yourself in the identity of the successful person you are becoming. If your goal is wealth, study, think and behave like one who already understands prosperity. If your goal is leadership, speak, walk, and decide like one who commands respect. If your goal is mastery, practice as if your hands already hold greatness. The world respects bold certainty. When you carry yourself with clarity and conviction, opportunities appear, doors open, and others are drawn to your vision. But clarity alone is not enough. You must act. Action is the translation of vision into reality. Every step you take toward a clearly defined success strengthens your confidence. Every move signals to your own mind that this is not a fantasy, this is destiny. The one who acts without hesitation proves to the world and to himself that success is inevitable. Waiting for the right time is the excuse of the weak. The strong make the time right by acting in faith and persistence. Guard your mind. The greatest enemy of clarity is doubt. Doubt clouds the vision, blurs the target, and drains the will. Refuse it. Reject it. Replace it instantly with belief. Faith in your success is the foundation of persistence. Without faith, every setback becomes defeat. With faith, every setback becomes instruction. Faith keeps you moving when nothing around you looks possible, And it is in that movement, that relentless forward push, where breakthroughs are born. Destroy every retreat option. If you keep escape routes, your mind will always look for them in the moment of pressure. Burn the bridges behind you. Force yourself into forward motion. When success is the only acceptable outcome, your energy triples, your creativity awakens, and your willpower rises. The human spirit is strongest when it has no choice but to win. Expect obstacles and prepare to use them. Each problem carries a lesson. Each failure reveals a strategy. Each setback trains your endurance. Do not fear them. Embrace them. Every great success is built upon foundations of failure, corrected, adjusted, and turned into stepping stones. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is not luck. It is the ability to transform pain into progress. Surround yourself only with voices of strength. Cut out the noise of weakness, of fear, of limitation. If your environment poisons your vision, change it. If your company drags you down, replace it. If your influences weaken your belief, burn them out of your life. Protect your clarity as you would protect your crown. You cannot build a palace of victory while living in the mud of mediocrity. Hold yourself accountable with no compromise. Do not allow yourself excuses, even small ones. Excuses rot the foundation of achievement. When you define your success, when you choose your path, every day becomes a test of discipline. You either pass or you fail. Success bows only to those who demand results from themselves without pity, without softness, without delay. Success is not a mystery. It is not reserved for a lucky few. It is the inevitable outcome of clarity, decision, faith, and relentless action. Act successful until you become successful. Think it until your mind accepts it as truth. Walk it until the world recognizes it as reality. Demand it until it cannot be denied. Define it clearly, act on it daily, and refuse to quit. That is the law. That is the path. That is how the crown is won. Adopt the identity of success. Before the world ever calls you victorious, you must first crown yourself in the unseen realm of thought and belief. Success begins inside long before it is recognized outside. The person who waits for wealth before thinking like a wealthy man will never hold wealth. The person who waits for recognition before acting like a leader will never command respect. You must step into the identity of the person you want to become now. Walk as though you already hold the prize. Speak as though your words already carry authority. Think as though your destiny is already sealed in greatness. The world responds to certainty. The world bends to confidence. The world recognizes those who claim their place before the evidence appears. When you adopt the identity of success, you send a signal not only to yourself, but to the universe around you. You align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with a single vision. This alignment generates a magnetic force. Opportunities appear because you behave like the one who deserves them. People respond because you act with the authority of someone who knows where they are going. Even obstacles shift because your posture refuses defeat. The mind is the battlefield, and identity is the armor. Until you wear the armor of success, you are exposed to doubt, fear, and hesitation. But once you put it on, your inner state makes you untouchable. The weak wait for external proof. They say, once I earn more money, I will believe I am wealthy. Once I get promoted, I will carry myself like a leader. Once people applaud me, I will feel confident. But success does not work this way. That thinking is inverted. It is a trap. The truth is simple. You must feel it, live it, breathe it before you see it. Action comes before recognition. Identity precedes reward. You must be it inside before you become it outside. This is why so many people fail. They wait. They wait for signs, for permission, for validation. But nothing moves until they move. Nothing changes until they change their state of being. Adopt the identity of success, and you eliminate the waiting. You step directly into the future you desire and begin shaping it with your present actions. When you do this, momentum gathers. People believe in you because you believe in yourself. They follow because you walk with direction. They invest because you radiate certainty. You must program your mind daily with this identity. See yourself already in possession of the victory. Imagine it with clarity until your subconscious accepts it as fact. When you wake up, tell yourself, I am a builder of greatness. I am a magnet for achievement. I am the one who rises where others fall. Repeat it until it becomes a conviction. Then live each day in alignment with that conviction. Small actions, repeated consistently under the influence of a powerful identity, will move mountains. But identity is more than words. It must be lived. If you claim wealth, yet act in waste and laziness, you betray your identity. If you claim leadership, yet shrink in fear, you deny your own claim. If you claim victory, yet quit at the first obstacle, you expose yourself as false. To adopt the identity of success means you discipline your behavior to match the image in your mind. You act as the successful person would act. You think as they would think. You decide as they would decide. Every day is a rehearsal for the future you demand. Do not underestimate the power of posture. How you carry yourself in body reflects how you carry yourself in spirit. Walk with strength. Speak with clarity. Look people in the eye. Command the space you enter. Even before the achievements come, your identity speaks louder than your current situation. The world will treat you not by what you hold in your hand, but by what you project in your presence. Carry the presence of success, and others will respond as if you already hold it. Expect resistance. The moment you begin to live as your greater self, people will question you. They will doubt you. They will mock your confidence because it exposes their own weakness. Ignore them. Keep your eyes on the vision, your mind in alignment, and your actions disciplined. Their resistance is proof you are walking a path higher than theirs. Greatness always offends mediocrity. Let their disbelief fuel your fire. Accountability to your identity is critical. Once you adopt the identity of success, you must never allow yourself to slip into the identity of failure again. If you declare yourself disciplined, then act with discipline even when tired. If you declare yourself courageous, then move forward even when afraid. If you declare yourself unstoppable, then nothing, no obstacle, no rejection, no delay must break that declaration. Success comes to those who refuse to betray their identity. Adopt the identity of success, and everything else follows. Wealth follows, power follows, influence follows, recognition follows. You do not chase these things. They are drawn to the person you have become. Success is not first an achievement, it is a state of being. And when your being changes, your reality must change with it. Therefore, crown yourself today, wear the identity of victory, speak it, think it, live it, act successful until you become successful, and nothing in this world will be able to deny you what you already are. Control your thoughts, or your thoughts will control you. Every triumph, every collapse, every fortune, every ruin begins in the unseen battlefield of the mind. The world outside bends to the world inside. A person who cannot govern their own thoughts is a slave, no matter how much money they hold or how much power they appear to command. But the one who masters the direction of their thoughts becomes the architect of destiny. The truth is harsh but simple. You cannot think defeat and live victory. You cannot think weakness and live strength. You cannot think poverty and live abundance. What dominates your mind will eventually dominate your life. Your thoughts are the seeds, and your results are the harvest. Plant weeds of doubt, and you will reap failure. Plant visions of greatness, and you will harvest success. The soil of your mind is neutral. It does not choose for you. It grows whatever you consistently plant. That is why careless thinking is dangerous. Negative thoughts repeated over and over sink into the subconscious until they become beliefs, and beliefs shape actions, and actions carve reality. Many people live lives of quiet misery because they allow toxic thoughts to flow unchecked, unaware they are building prisons with their own minds. To control your thoughts is to guard the gates of your destiny. Do not let every idea, every opinion, every fear from the outside world enter and settle in your mind. You must filter. You must reject weakness the moment it knocks. You must replace every thought of doubt with an image of victory. This is not a one-time act. It is daily warfare. Each morning when you rise, your mind is waiting for instruction. If you do not give it orders, the world will, the media will, other people's fears will, and once that happens, you are no longer the driver. You are the passenger. Feed your mind with what strengthens it. Read words of power. Listen to voices that challenge you to rise. Visualize the life you demand until it burns into your memory. Your subconscious accepts repetition as truth, and once it accepts it, your actions naturally follow. This is why those who constantly dwell on failure continue to fail, while those who fix their minds on victory eventually break through. The mind obeys what it hears most often. Speak life to it, command it daily. Tell it who you are and where you are going until it cannot disobey you. Understand this, thoughts are not harmless. They are builders, they are destroyers. Every great empire, every breakthrough, every invention began as a single thought fiercely guarded and relentlessly nurtured until it came to life. Every downfall, every act of betrayal, every wasted life also began as a thought, allowed to linger until it grew into action. What you allow in your mind will one day stand in your life. That is why mastery of thought is mastery of fate. But controlling your thoughts does not mean ignoring reality. It means commanding how you interpret it. Two people face the same setback. One says, "I am finished." The other says, "This is training." The event is the same, but the thought shapes the outcome. The defeated mind dies in the obstacle. The victorious mind grows stronger from it. Life is less about what happens and more about what you decide it means. Control your meaning and you control your future. Guard especially against fear. Fear is the most dangerous thought because it paralyzes action. Fear whispers lies into the mind until you believe the impossible cannot be reached. But fear is only imagination corrupted. It is a misuse of thought. Replace it with faith. Faith is also imagination, but it is disciplined. It is the conviction that what you see in your mind can become what you hold in your hand. Fear builds chains. Faith builds bridges. Which one you choose is determined by the thoughts you allow to dominate. Do not tolerate negativity, not even for a moment. The moment you notice a destructive thought, strike it down, replace it with a thought of power. This is discipline. Just as a warrior trains his body until reflex becomes instinct, you must train your mind until positivity becomes natural. At first, it will be effort. You will have to catch yourself often, but over time, as you practice, you will discover your mind begins to obey without resistance. That is when you are free. That is when nothing can stop you. Surround yourself with thought builders, not thought destroyers. The people you keep around you influence what enters your mind. If you walk with complainers, you will think like them. If you surround yourself with builders, you will rise with them. Your mind is too valuable to be polluted by the weak, the bitter, the defeated. Protect it like treasure, because it is treasure. Your outer world can be rebuilt from nothing if your inner world stays strong. Control your thoughts, and you control your destiny. Fail to control them, and your destiny is decided for you by circumstance, by fear, by other people's opinions. Refuse that slavery. Take command of your inner kingdom. Plant thoughts of power, water them with belief, protect them with discipline, and harvest them through action. This is the law of the mind. You cannot escape it, but you can master it. Think strength until you are strong. Think wealth until you are wealthy. Think victory until you are victorious. Do not wait for the evidence. Create the evidence with your mind first. Then let your actions follow. Control your thoughts, and you will command your future. Refuse to control them, and you will remain at the mercy of a world that owes you nothing. The choice is yours. The crown is waiting, but it will only fit on the head of one who has mastered the battlefield within. Burn the limiting bridges, or they will burn you. As long as you keep an escape route, your mind will always look for it. When the road to success gets hard, and it will, your brain will whisper, you can always go back, you can always quit, you can always take the easier way. That whisper is the death of greatness. The moment you allow a retreat, you've already surrendered half the battle. History has proven it. The conquerors who destroyed their ships after landing left no way home but through victory. And so it is with your life. You must set fire to the bridges of doubt, fear, and excuses, and march forward with no path but the one that leads to triumph. Comfort is the enemy of progress. As long as you keep comfort close, you will run to it the moment pain appears. You will fold at the first obstacle because you know safety waits behind you. But success demands the opposite. No safety net, no escape, no fallback plan. Only forward, only upward, only through the storm. When you burn the limiting bridges, you eliminate weakness. You force yourself to use every ounce of creativity, discipline, and persistence because you have no choice. That pressure becomes your power. Excuses are bridges too, and they must be destroyed. I didn't have the chance. Burn it. It's not the right time. Burn it. What if I fail? Burn it. These bridges give you false comfort while they chain you to mediocrity. They keep you halfway in, halfway out, living in hesitation, never fully committed. But commitment is the price of success. When you burn the excuses, you liberate your mind to focus only on the work, only on the solution, only on the goal. No backdoor, no retreat, just raw determination. Understand this, the human spirit is strongest when it has no choice but to win. When you trap yourself in a situation where you must succeed, you awaken powers inside you that you never knew existed. You think sharper. You move faster. You fight harder. The weak wait for ideal conditions. The strong create them by leaving themselves no escape but victory. Burning your bridges is not destruction, it is creation. It is the deliberate forging of an environment where only success can live. Many people never rise because they live with divided loyalties. One foot in the dream, one foot in the comfort zone. One hand reaching forward, one hand clinging to the past. They wonder why their progress is slow. The answer is simple. Divided focus kills momentum. You cannot march toward success while looking backward at safety. The journey requires total commitment, total energy, total vision. Half dreams produce half results, and half results bury potential. Burning limiting bridges also means eliminating the toxic ties that chain you to old identities. If your environment drags you down, cut it off. If your circle feeds doubt into your mind, leave it behind. If your habits weaken you, kill them now. You cannot carry dead weight into a future of greatness. The bridges to old weakness must be burned without regret. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will hurt. But comfort and weakness have never built empires, never forged legends, never created victory. Do not fear the fire. Fire purifies. Fire strengthens. Fire eliminates the unnecessary and sharpens what remains. When you burn your limiting bridges, you free yourself from the prison of fallback plans. You step into a new identity, a fighter with no way out but through. And this identity transforms you. The moment you know there is no retreat, you stand taller, you move with greater conviction, and you unleash forces inside you that the average person never discovers. Every master of success has faced this decision. Some burned the bridge of financial security to chase the dream. Some burned the bridge of fear to step into leadership. Some burned the bridge of comfort to embrace discipline. Without that moment of no return, greatness remains a fantasy. With it, greatness becomes inevitable. You must decide, will you keep the bridges of weakness intact, always tempting you back to mediocrity, or will you burn them and walk forward into the fire of destiny? The world does not reward the half-hearted. It crowns only the committed. Burn the bridges behind you, and there is only one way left, to rise, to conquer, to achieve. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Take the torch now. Burn the limiting bridges, and watch how your spirit roars alive. Watch how your will hardens. Watch how the universe responds when it sees a soul that has shut every door but victory. No one remembers those who kept safety nets. No one praises those who quit halfway. The names that endure are the ones who stepped onto the battlefield with no retreat, no excuses, no escape, and fought until the crown was theirs. That is the law of success, all in or nothing. Burn your limiting bridges, and you will discover that the fire that destroys your excuses is the same fire that forges your greatness. Persistent action is the weapon that conquers all resistance. Nothing, no talent, no brilliance, no stroke of luck can compete with the raw, unrelenting force of consistent effort applied day after day, year after year. Success is not won in a single strike. It is forged through repeated blows, hammering at the wall of obstacles until it cracks, until it falls, until the path ahead is open. The world does not surrender to the dreamer who speaks. It surrenders to the warrior who acts without pause. without excuse, without retreat. The truth is simple. Most people fail not because they lack potential, but because they lack persistence. They act once, twice, maybe for a season, and when the results do not come fast enough, they stop. Their energy fades, their vision weakens, and they retreat to mediocrity. But greatness does not appear on demand. Greatness bows only to the one who refuses to stop. Persistence is the grindstone that sharpens your skills, the fire that hardens your will, the storm that tests your strength. Without it, even the most gifted wither. With it, even the average can rise to unimaginable heights. Think of the river that carves the canyon. One strike of water would do nothing. But years of persistence, constant flowing, unrelenting force, cuts through stone. That is the power of steady, disciplined action. Each day you show up, each step you take, no matter how small, is a strike against the impossible. Alone, it may not seem powerful, but compounded day after day, it becomes unstoppable. Success is not an event, it is accumulation. Persistence stacks small victories into great triumphs. The weak search for motivation before acting. They wait until they feel like it. That is why they fail. The strong act whether they feel like it or not. Action first, emotion later. You cannot wait for energy, you must create it. You cannot wait for certainty, you must build it. Every act of persistence strengthens you. Every repetition hardens your resolve. Discipline is the engine, persistence is the fuel. Together they carry you further than talent ever will. Obstacles will rise, they are part of the path. Do not curse them, do not fear them. They exist to test whether you are worthy of the goal. Many will stop at the obstacle. That is why so few rise to the top. But the one who persists, who keeps striking, who keeps advancing no matter the pain, eventually discovers that no obstacle can withstand relentless force. Brick by brick, wall by wall, mountain by mountain, persistence wears them all down. Rejection will come. Failure will come. Delays will come. But these are not signs of defeat. They are signs you are in the arena. They are proof you are moving. The man who never fails is the man who never tried. The woman who never stumbled is the one who never climbed. Do not envy the ones who never fall. They have also never risen. Persistence transforms failure into stepping stones, rejection into redirection, delays into preparation. Every setback you endure and keep going makes you unbreakable. Persistent action requires vision. Without a clear target, persistence becomes wandering. But once you define your aim, persistence turns into laser focus. It is not about random effort, but consistent, directed effort. Daily, disciplined, intentional strikes toward the exact result you demand. When you marry clarity with persistence, nothing can stop you. The world eventually bends. Reality eventually conforms. It has no choice when faced with a will that does not quit. Do not underestimate the power of time. Most give up because the harvest does not come quickly, but persistence respects the law of seasons. You plant in faith. You water in patience, you work in silence, and eventually you reap in abundance. The harvest does not come to the impatient, it comes to the persistent. Each day of action builds momentum, and momentum compounds into breakthroughs. Suddenly, what seemed impossible becomes reality, not because of one massive effort, but because of thousands of small, consistent ones. Surround yourself with reminders of persistence. Cut away distractions, silence voices of doubt, and align with people who value discipline. The environment must serve your persistence, not sabotage it. Every temptation to quit must be destroyed. Every excuse must be burned. You must decide that quitting is not an option. Once you make that decision, persistence becomes your nature. And when persistence is your nature, success cannot escape you. Understand this. Talent fades if not used. Intelligence weakens if not applied. Opportunities vanish if not seized. But persistence multiplies all of them. It turns little into much, weak into strong, ordinary into extraordinary. Persistence is the great equalizer. It does not matter where you start. It matters that you refuse to stop. The one who persists always outlasts the one who quits. And in the end, the crown goes not to the swiftest, but to the one who never gave up the race. So strike again and again and again. Strike when tired. Strike when discouraged. Strike when the world says no. Strike until the wall crumbles, until the door opens, until the victory is yours. Persistent action is the weapon that wins every war. Wield it without hesitation, and the world will eventually bow to your will. Harness desire with faith, and you hold the most explosive force a human being can ever command. Desire alone is fire, but without direction it burns out, leaving only ashes. Faith alone is belief, but without fuel it drifts as a dream, powerless. But when you weld them together, desire fused with faith, you ignite a power that nothing in this world can resist. It is the union of hunger and conviction, the marriage of burning want with unshakable certainty. That is the engine of success. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. It is the hunger that drives you out of bed when others sleep. It is the vision that burns in your chest long after others have quit. Without desire, you drift. Without desire, you settle. Without desire, you accept the crumbs of life instead of demanding the feast. But desire by itself is not enough. A man may want success. A woman may crave greatness. Yet without faith, they collapse at the first sign of difficulty. Their desire turns to frustration because they never believed deep enough that it was possible. Faith is the invisible force that gives desire legs. Faith is certainty in the unseen. It is the conviction that what you imagine can be made real. It is belief so strong that it transforms action into inevitability. Faith does not mean you ignore obstacles. It means you know beyond doubt that obstacles cannot stop you. Faith does not erase difficulty. It gives you the strength to cut through difficulty until the goal is yours. With faith, setbacks become tests, failures become instructions, and delays become preparation. Without faith, the same experiences become excuses. To harness desire with faith, you must make your desire definite. Vague wishes cannot hold faith. Saying, I want to be successful is a child's dream. Saying, I will build this business, reach this goal, earn this income, by this time is a declaration. Specific desire becomes believable. Faith thrives on clarity. The clearer the picture, the stronger the conviction. When you see it, when you feel it, when you repeat it daily until your subconscious accepts it as fact, faith rises naturally. Guard your desire because the world will try to kill it. Mediocre minds fear burning desire. They will call you unrealistic, obsessive, even arrogant. They say this to mask their own weakness. Do not listen. Protect your desire as a warrior protects his weapon. Feed it daily with reminders of why you started. Strengthen it with images of the future you demand. Refuse to let their doubts infect your faith. The world has always mocked the dreamers until the dreamers win. Then the world applauds. Faith is built by repetition. Every day speak your desire aloud. Every day see yourself already in possession of it. Every day act in alignment with it. Over time, your subconscious cannot tell the difference between what you imagine and what you live. It begins to operate as if your desire is already real. And when the mind accepts it, your actions follow without hesitation. Your persistence strengthens without struggle. And the results come because they cannot be denied. This is not magic. This is law. The mind creates the body creates the results, and the results reflect the faith that drove them. Desire with faith creates resilience. The man who merely wants something may quit when it hurts. The woman who merely hopes may fold when it delays. But the one who burns with desire and anchors it with faith becomes unstoppable. They see rejection as redirection. They see defeat as education. They see obstacles as training. Nothing breaks them because their vision is already too real inside to be denied outside. This is why you must never settle for weak wants. You must build burning desire, and you must tie it to faith so strong that the world itself must bend to it. Your desire must be greater than comfort. If you desire ease more than success, you will quit. If you desire approval more than greatness, you will fold. If you desire security more than progress, you will settle. Desire must be sharp, hungry, and bigger than fear. And faith must be the shield that protects it when storms rage. Without storms, you will never grow strong enough to handle the crown. With storms, your desire and faith grow into a force that can move nations. Every victory in history, every invention, every empire, every movement began with one person who desired something greater and believed it into existence. They were not stronger, smarter, or richer than others. They simply refused to let their desire die, and they refused to let doubt rule their mind. They carried faith like fire in the dark, and that fire lit the way forward until the world saw what they saw. You have the same power. You have the same ability to desire, to believe, to act. The question is, will you harness it? Harness desire with faith, and no power can stop you. Desire without faith burns out. Faith without desire drifts. But together, they become unstoppable force, explosive energy, relentless drive. Build your desire until it is a fire no one can extinguish. Strengthen your faith until it is a rock no one can move. Live with them both, and success cannot escape you. It must submit. It must appear. It must be yours. That is the law of achievement. Turn setbacks into strategy, and every defeat becomes the foundation of your victory. Those who crumble at the first sign of resistance are not denied by life. They are denied by their own interpretation of failure. The difference between the weak and the great is not that one avoids setbacks and the other does not. It is that the great transform setbacks into strategy, while the weak allow setbacks to become tombstones for their dreams. Every struggle you face carries within it the seeds of guidance, if you are willing to see it. Setbacks are not punishments. They are signals. They are reality, pointing out what you did not yet understand, what you must strengthen, and where you must grow sharper. To the average mind, a setback feels like the end. But to the determined mind, it is simply feedback. If you strike a wall, it does not mean you stop walking. It means you search for the door, the ladder, or the hammer to break through. That is strategy. Success is never a straight line. It is a maze. And setbacks are the arrows that guide you toward the right turns. Too many people treat setbacks as proof that their goal is impossible. They say, if it were meant to be, it would be easy. That is poison thinking. Nothing great has ever been easy. The challenge is the proof of its value. The fact that you hit resistance is confirmation that you are moving beyond the ordinary. If it were simple, everyone would already have it. The world tests your desire by pushing against it. Only those who turn the pushback into power make it through. When you face a setback, the first step is control. Do not panic. Do not surrender to anger. Do not let your emotions blind you. Step back, breathe, and observe. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What weakness has this revealed? What adjustment does this demand? Those questions transform pain into clarity. Most people never ask them. They drown in frustration. But the disciplined mind turns every failure into information, and information is the raw material of strategy. Imagine the great generals of history. They did not win every battle. They lost ground, suffered defeat, and faced enemies stronger than themselves. But the reason they are remembered is that they converted those losses into blueprints for future victories. They studied their setbacks, found patterns, corrected mistakes, and adapted. That is why they ultimately triumphed. You must live with the same mentality. Every defeat is simply intelligence for the next move. Setbacks also forge toughness. Comfort weakens, struggle sharpens. When you encounter obstacles, you are being trained. Your patience is strengthened. Your creativity is tested. Your resilience is hardened. If you never had setbacks, you would never develop the muscle to carry success. Many who rise too fast without struggle collapse just as fast. They never learned strategy through difficulty. But those who suffer, who adjust, who persist, become unstoppable because their very being has been tempered in fire. One of the deadliest mistakes you can make is to compare your journey to someone else's highlight. You see their results, but not their setbacks. You watch their victory, but not their scars. And because you do not see the struggle, you imagine they had none. This illusion makes you think your setbacks mean you are failing, when in truth you are being forged exactly as they once were. Every champion you admire is standing on mountains of setbacks. They turned them into stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. The world belongs to the strategist. Anyone can have a dream. Anyone can start with excitement. But when resistance appears, the crowd vanishes. The few who remain are those who adapt, who learn, who evolve. If one door is shut, they find another. If one method fails, they create a new one. They are not attached to the way, they are committed to the goal. Strategy means flexibility with methods, but obsession with outcome. Setbacks are simply the training ground where you sharpen that flexibility. Remember this, the universe does not give you setbacks to destroy you. It gives you setbacks to measure your will. If you quit, it was not meant for you. If you persist, adjust, and strategize, it becomes yours. You prove your worthiness by enduring the test. Every stumble is asking you one question, how badly do you want this? If your answer is weak, you retreat. If your answer is strong, you rise with greater wisdom. Turn setbacks into strategy, and no defeat is permanent. Each loss becomes an instruction manual for victory. Each delay becomes preparation for bigger capacity. Each rejection becomes redirection to a better path. Nothing can stop the one who sees setbacks not as enemies but as allies in disguise. The weak curse them, the strong thank them. The weak collapse under them, the strong climb on them. Decide which you will be. You are not defined by how you celebrate success, but by how you respond to setbacks. If you break, you were never ready. If you rise, you become unbreakable. See every setback as strategy, and life itself becomes your teacher. No force on earth can deny the person who refuses to waste failure. That is the mind of greatness. That is how you turn pain into progress, losses into lessons, and setbacks into unstoppable strategy. Surround yourself with power influence, and you will rise faster, think sharper, and achieve greater heights than you could ever reach alone. No one becomes great in isolation. Every giant was lifted by the force of those they allowed into their circle. Influence is contagious. If you walk with the weak, you will catch weakness. If you walk with the powerful, you will catch power. The environment you choose is shaping you every second, whether you are conscious of it or not. That is why you must guard it like treasure. The people around you act as mirrors. They reflect back your standards, your energy, your expectations. If you sit with those who complain, you will find yourself complaining. If you surround yourself with the driven, your drive will multiply. If you keep company with doubters, your faith will erode. If you walk beside believers, your belief will grow unshakable. Power influence is not about luck. It is about deliberate choice. You must choose your circle with the same precision a king chooses his advisors, because they will determine your kingdom. Weak influence is poison. It kills ambition silently. You may not even notice until years have passed and your fire is gone. Negative influence whispers in your ear, that's too hard. You're being unrealistic. Be satisfied with less. If you allow it, those words will become your prison. On the other hand, powerful influence feeds your mind with possibility. You can do it. Push harder. There's more in you. And when you hear that daily, you rise beyond limits you once thought unbreakable. The difference between success and failure is often not talent, but influence. Surrounding yourself with power does not mean everyone must already be rich, famous, or successful. It means they must be aligned with strength, growth, and forward momentum. Power influence comes from those who hold high standards for themselves, who refuse excuses, who think big, and who act with purpose. Their energy infects you. Their courage strengthens you. Their achievements remind you that greater things are possible. When you walk among lions, you learn to roar. When you live among sheep, you learn to bow. This is why you must be ruthless with your environment. Cut out toxic voices. Distance yourself from the small-minded. Limit exposure to those who drain you. Some may be friends, even family, but if they consistently pull you down, you must guard your mind like a warrior protects his weapon. Loyalty to weakness will destroy your destiny. Protecting your circle is not cruelty, it is survival. Greatness cannot bloom in polluted soil. At the same time, seek out those who stretch you. Find mentors who are further ahead, peers who are ambitious, allies who challenge you to grow. Do not be the strongest in your circle. If you are in the wrong circle. Growth comes when you are slightly uncomfortable, when others' standards force you to rise. Let their example sharpen your character. Let their victories fuel your hunger. Let their wisdom save you years of wasted struggle. This is the power of influence. Influence is not limited to people you meet in person. Books, voices, and ideas can become part of your circle.